was like a week ago. Oh no, it was recently. So Ariana Grande put out a YouTube video, and it was like the most like watched YouTube video in 24 hours like ever.
Really?
I think she hit like 50 million views, and like as soon as she posted it, I think it said like 200,000 people watched it live, and then after that it just skyrocketed, which is great. Good for her. Breaking records, cool. But when I think of her, I think of people like her, Justin Timberlake, and like other, I'll say non-black artists that benefit from culturally black music. Cultural appropriation, we call them culture vultures. And so the conversation kind of bounces a lot about if it means anything, if anything should be done about it. But I think when you look at artists like, let's talk about like Sam Smith or like Adele, that have very culturally black sounds and are very successful, but if you would compare them to like the chicks you know at your church, you'd be like, they not even close. You know what I'm saying? And so I think the question is, should these artists feel any type of responsibility or feel like they, I guess, owe us anything for their success?
Owe us anything like what?
Like, I won't say an apology, but like the black community. Yeah. I don't know what the options would be.
I think that's a tough question because I feel like these artists come from different places. So for example, if you have like, say Adele, I don't know her history, I don't know much about her. But say she comes from a tough situation and she fought through that and she made it to where she is now. I feel like as artists, I'm not an artist, but they see things, their whole life is about creating. So they take what they know and try to add to it with their own little spin on it. So I feel like if she's taken her experience and her talents and got to this point, I feel like it's hard to kind of like say she owes people anything. Now, if she's looking at, if she goes to a local church and she's looking at the music they're playing, and then she goes to her studio and then she, shapes it and kind of hides what she got it from without paying the people she took it from, I think that's when I would say absolutely she owes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't necessarily think that's because I think you can't help who you're influenced by.
That's a big one.
And
yeah.
I don't feel like any of those artists you named or any of the other ones like specifically went out and were like, I'm gonna go study these black artists
and take it from them.
Like, they just couldn't help that they were the best. Like I think about Ariana Grande. Like there's this video that we've seen a bunch of times with her doing like impressions of like Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey.
She's pretty good.
She kills them.
Pretty good.
Oh my God, she kills them.
Yeah.
It's like you can tell that those are the singers that she grew up listening to.
Right.
But when you think about those singers, who didn't?
Right. Right.
And just the way that she decided to learn and sing, she kind of took from what she heard of them, and then she does her own thing.
Yeah.
I don't think when she sings, she sounds like any of them, but she has great vocal ability, and clearly she can sing like them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't help who you're influenced by, and I think where all of those people ended up versus somebody that may be in our church who we think is better, I think it comes down to like the exposure that you have coming up.
Okay.
We talk about this now that we have a kid on the way, talking about like exposure and where all of us would have been if maybe our parents knew what direction to send us in based on what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like some of these people, if their parents were more kind of savvy to what they wanted to do and got them mentors when they were younger, had the money and the means to put them in the studio when they were kids,
right?
And you get a chance to grow up around this industry, you're going to be better off than somebody that's just singing at their church. And all the church people care about is making sure that you hear every Sunday.
Right.
You know what I'm
really
saying?
winging it.
There's nothing outside of that. What can you do?
Okay.
So I don't think that thing.
So no.
I think it bothers me. I agree. I think the only time it bothers me is if they put down the black culture, but take so much inspiration from it.
Okay.
That's when it becomes an issue.
Right.
Like if they, let's just say, since we're talking about Ariana Grande, like let's just say she made fun of girls for wearing cornrows and then did it on a music video. No issue.
That would piss me off.
No.
For sure.
It's like you're taking from us, but you're making fun. Like No,
Right.
it doesn't work that way.
Agreed.
And I think that's when people, from what I've seen, on social media, that's when people get really upset when they see like white girls with like weave or whatever. They make fun of black girls, like, oh, you don't have hair, that's why you wear that. It's like, no, that's not always the case. You know? So it's like, don't take it if you're gonna make fun of it or put it down or whatever. But other than that, I think if you're just influenced by it, especially here, like until I moved to the United States, I didn't know. I've never seen people from other places. Because in Brazil, I just thought everybody was just Brazilian. That's it. Because they don't talk about
the whole world's Brazilian.
In Brazil, I thought everybody there was Brazilian. I didn't learn about the culture differences there until I came here.
Okay.
And
that may actually make sense.
Experienced a bunch of people from different places until I came here. So I feel like there's such a melting pot here. As much as they're trying to end that you can't help who you're influenced.
Agreed.
By, you know?
I think it gets interesting when part of me feels like it's just like a human like byproduct, whereas when we see or experience something that isn't the norm, it's a big deal. For example, like if you this annoys me, but I know like a lot of times when we go out and you have a significant amount of our white counterparts, when they see us together, they want to start doing like our dances just to kind of like I don't know. Yeah. Right. But what I recognize is like, let's say if we were like out singing or something somewhere, and let's say we were singing like some old quartet gospel stuff, right? And then this random white boy comes up and starts doing that, right? And even if it's not that good, the fact that it's like a person not of our culture doing what we do well, or even like, all right, it's a big deal. Which is why we look at like when kids do things like, oh, you're only 14 and you boo, because it's not the norm, right? And so I think that sometimes invokes like another level of success that kind of contributes to what we're talking about right now. Just like when you see a person that comes from a population that doesn't typically do what they're doing, it's like, wow, you're not supposed to be doing this. Good for you, and it's a big deal. And part of me feels like that's what contributes to some of their success, people who kind of fall into that category.
I think if you utilize like the style or anything from the culture of another, you need to appreciate it and you need to become an advocate for it. So I think for me, when I saw Kylie Jenner with braids, she's attacked for it.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't understand, it's just braids. And the thing is, my issue with you is you don't understand that if I wear those braids, I won't be looked at just as beautiful as you are.
Facts.
And it's not just my face versus your face. Any black girl with braids versus you with braids won't be looked at as cool and trendy. And
her is edgy.
Don't also
it's
put
cool.
it on a magazine and be like, Kylie brought back braids, or
right, bro.
And it wasn't her, but there'll be another white girl or someone from another culture with braids on a magazine. I'm like,
bruh,
I'm getting this since
right,
I could start braiding my hair. What do you mean? But I also think it's on us as a people to not just appreciate our stuff when it's on another culture. So you'll have males see a white girl with braids and they'll go, ooh, she bad, or she'll have a bigger bottom area, a bigger top, and they're like, ooh, she's bad.
Hello.
But you don't appreciate it on black women. You came
likes
out
the
of
big
one,
back size.
Yeah. And so for us, it's the same thing too. I think we need to. Let's not appreciate a man bone that's only on a white boy with a beard.
Hello.
We appreciate it.
Woo, flame.
Maybe your hair is
Sorry.
Let's appreciate it when it's on you too.
That's a real thing.
Good point. Yeah, you gotta appreciate it. And it makes me think about like we gotta have more like when I say black representation, like you think about like Ebony and Essence, like all of that stuff. We had our own stuff that was coming out to make us appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I think about like,
Your Jet magazine.
Yeah, like all of that stuff. I feel like it needs to be around, and it needs to be something that we always have access to.
Agreed. They just did that. What magazine was it? People were posting on Facebook. They were like, they were saying that like Google like the month of your birthday and year.
It was Jet and Ebony.
That was dope. They were posting like the magazine issue of that month. I thought it was a great idea. Wesley?
He was on the cover.
Yeah, like young Wesley. They had like a Kango or something. It was like New Jack City Wesley or something like that. That was a great idea. And I think that's a very good point, bro, because if you take from a culture and you don't advocate for this culture at all. And I don't know, it does make me feel a certain kind of way now that you mention it. Especially when that, that culture is dealing with a bunch of issues that it seems like the world doesn't care about. And then here you are benefiting off of, like, you cherry picking from them, and you winning and they struggling. Yeah. Not okay.
Yeah. I didn't mean to interrupt. But I think even when I was talking about the exposure piece, unfortunately, although that's a good thing, it's not as simple as that. Because there will be some things that, even though you may be the best, you may still get shut out because you aren't the best.
Ooh.
So it's not as simple as that, but that does help. And I think what would help for some of those artists is if people actually like watched interviews of them talking, because a lot of them don't have a problem mentioning who they were influenced by. So I feel like anyone who loves Ariana Grande should know about Whitney Houston, Aretha Franklin. She loves them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Those are the people that she grew up listening to. So like, kind of digging more into those artists and finding out why they started doing what they do will lead you back to us.
Okay. But people don't care that much to do no research.
They don't.
I think that's like Eminem would be a great example. So he was a rapper, but were we mad at him for rapping? No, because he didn't portray himself to be from some hood. He portrayed himself to be from a trailer park.
You're
so
right.
his economic disadvantage as a white person was different from ours, and he portrayed his. And so I think there are some like artists out there who will portray them being from the ghetto or them going to like a corner store, walking down the street. It's like, but you're not
putting on, right? Yeah.
Like, you're putting on, like, is that where you're from? Like, why don't you just sing about where you're from? Why does it have to be where I'm from? Eminem didn't do that. He told his own story.
Yeah, I think people do that because they know it works. They know like the gangster culture is cool, right? It's real cool to like talk about guns from Beverly Hills. You know what I'm saying? Right. I get it.
Do we also shed a light on the labels? Because you got to think about the labels are the institutions that they're backed by not only dollars, but they also have teams and teams of people that are constantly looking for new content. And I feel like if they feel like they can't sell you, then they don't promote you. And we live in a country, unfortunately, where if you look a certain way, you automatically, no matter how good you are, if they feel like they can sell you, then they automatically just rise to the top without even necessarily having talent. So that's another thing to kind of look at, because I know, especially like back in the day, if you know anything about hip hop, Dame Dash specifically has a book called Culture Vultures, and he kind of talks about like the history of how they used to basically steal from black people, like with 360 deals and all kinds of stuff. So I feel like if you're gonna look at the artists, once the artist makes it to a certain level, like once they're signed, they're now backed by an entire different beast that's trying to find new ways to sell this person, and that may mean an intern, showing up somewhere, seeing something that's fire that somebody black has done, bringing it back to their boss, goes up the chain and say, yo, you should do this.
Right.
And it gets lost, and the person that created it gets absolutely
right.
Came up with. So in my opinion, I think the label's probably like really the cornerstone of the appropriation that goes on.
Absolutely. We get the short straw often. Like there's a documentary, I don't know if it's still on Netflix, but it was called 20 Feet from Stardom.
I remember that. You put me on that.
Oh, bro, it was dope. But it was talking about like all of these, they talked about a lot of black women that were singing.
Yeah.
But a lot of them, they sang background vocals on all of these like hits, but the main singer was a white person. Or it would be the black women would lay down the demo for the lead vocal, and then the white women would just go sing exactly what the lady said.
Right.
And they'd be the one that they put out on the forefront.
And on the album cover.
Yep. Or you go in and think that you're getting your big break, and the album drops. And
oh my god!
At all.
Oh my god! That's. I think I saw that was it like the Temptations or something? And they were trying to they would try to make. Oh, it was a 5 Heartbeats.
Oh yeah.
And they came out with like the 4 Horsemen.
Yeah.
And with the white boys singing their songs. Yo, that would make me so mad, bro. Not okay. But I mean, like you said, historically speaking, that is a thing. And I just saw Bohemian Rhapsody. Spoiler alert. Well, no, because it's coming. So there was a point where, actually, I think this part of the movie was actually fake. But there was a point where they brought the song Bohemian Rhapsody to like their label, and the label was taking more of an approach of like, we know what works, we have a formula, just do this and it will sell. right? So I can imagine a label taking something from another culture and saying like, all right, you want to be an artist. We know that this works. We have a formula for it. Just wear some baggy jeans, grow your hair out some, and act like you sell drugs, and it's going to happen. And I feel like that happens, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I definitely agree with you on that point.
That formula is a real thing.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
That's how you get all of these cookie cutter,
Yeah.
you know, not just rappers. There's a lot of cookie cutters and
Everything, clothes,
but it's like,
everything.
It makes you think about the more independent artists that just like release their stuff on SoundCloud. You think of like Chance, right?
Go
He
Chance.
wasn't trying to bow down to no label, and his stuff is dope. Is he an amazing singer? Not even close. His music is dope. I
Yeah.
enjoy hearing him sing.
He has a really good ear,
To
I
me, it
think.
comes from a real place, you know. So every
Agreed.
crack in his voice is cool.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like the people that aren't trying to be the ones that just, you know, they wake up tomorrow and they're this huge success because they did what that person did.
Mhm.
It's like following the formula. I feel like that just perpetuates where society is now about wanting to just get to the end game
Right.
tomorrow.